Okay, we're about halfway through NAMM 2026 now, and we're on the Laney booth with the beautiful Lee Wraith, who you know and love from many Ibanez and Laney videos. But we're also going to introduce a new chap called Brian, who has been part of the design team for this new collaboration with Billy Corgan and Laney. So Lee, introduce Brian. Tell us what is happening here.
So Billy has a very expensive live rig, right? And if he has to do a fly gig, it's expensive to travel with that rig and do anything. So he originally spoke to James Laney, because he's a massive Iomi fan, owns Supergroup amps, and he said, if I could get my rig into something that the average guitar shop person could just buy and use, that'd be great. So we collaborated with Brian. This is Brian Carstens, everybody. What I tell the people at Andertons, who you are, what you do.
Brian Carstens Amplification. Yeah, I build the amps for Billy. I'm out of Chicago. His signature amp, the Carstens Grace. And he approached me and you guys to see if we could somehow pull off this thing that I was skeptical we could get right, combining his signature amp, the Carstens Grace, with the Laney Supergroup. And
yeah, so essentially what we've done is all the clever boffins back at Laney HQ, the same people who took the Lionheart tube amps and turned it into the Foundry versions. They sound like the real thing, did the same with the Supergroup. So what you've got is a clean setting and a dime setting. And if you want to get that classic 1970s Supergroup sound, you just dime all of the dials, right? Yeah.
I must admit, and credit to Brian on that, normally with the sort of a solid state approach or a Class D approach, if you dime anything, it's awful.
Yeah.
So you've obviously dialed in like to be dimed.
That's right. So we got the Supergroup, we dimed it because that's the sound everybody goes for. And when that happens, when that amp is dimed, the transformer does something odd, starts to act in weird ways, which was, I think, must have been a happy accident back in the early days. And it gives you what they refer to as like a transformer rub. It sounds homoerotic, but hey, we'll move on from that. And it gives you kind of like a major 6 interval.
Well done for keeping up the Andertons
it's got to be done.
tradition.
It's got to be done. The major 6 below the note that you're playing, it's kind of there.
Oh, really?
It's subharmonic. The sound of Tony and the Sabbath, really. So we had to make that right, otherwise it wouldn't sound like a supergroup. Then we did the same with Brian's Grace amp, which is an absolutely beautiful handmade amplifier. So Brian came over to the UK and was listening to it and making tweaks with the engineers. Got it done. We've got some nice adult movie entertainment.
I'm getting PTSD from my worst ever nightmare on a busy Saturday afternoon in Andertons here. We're opposite the Vox booth, and I don't even know how to describe the noises coming off of it, but I apologise.
Inspiring. It's just the word you're looking for.
Yeah. So that's the Supergroup side. The Grace side is then working in conjunction with Brian to make it sound like the Grace sound.
That's amazing.
Which is a real tall order, but we've got there. And so it's all the other loud pedals, like the Tom Quayle Lionheart loud pedal and the Martin Miller Ironheart, that's one amp with 2 channels.
Yeah.
This is 2 amps in one. 60 watts, real amp, straight out of here into a cab.
So I don't know if Billy was doing a fly rig, is he just likely to specify, like, get me like a vintage 30 loaded 2x12 at the other, or what's the deal?
Well, you'll know better than I. So, to tell the Chicago story.
The debut of this pedal was the summer My Chemical Romance was playing in Chicago. They needed to do a satellite stage in the middle, and they had a silent stage. So he said, "Hey, can we use that prototype?" Maybe?
Yeah. It was the only one.
And so they, My Chemical Romance wanted to do a song with him. They did Bullet, middle of 60,000 people, and that was his amp.
And so you didn't even run a cab off this, you just ran the DI, did you?
Yeah, so on the back of here, you'll see it in a close-up from Taylor, but the XLR out.
That's great.
It's just, and so there's a USB-C in that allows you to change the impulse responses.
Yeah.
So you can load, this comes shipped with Billy's, but you could put anything you like in there, really.
What is it, when you're building amps for him, what is his preferred kind of speaker choice and cabinet choice?
Laney cabs. He does
Okay.
a Laney 412. I think with the G1275
Yeah,
Heritage.
he's got the original Wyoming one
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, but,
So
so if he's
that's-
using Laney cabs, then obviously you're well positioned to get the IRs right.
Oh, you're
and
going
the
to get
voicing and-
absolutely, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool,
And
man.
I've been working with Billy for, I don't know, maybe going on 15 years or something. The first amp I ever worked on for Billy was a Laney Supergroup. He sent it to me to authenticate, you know. So it's sort of taking his first love of Iomi and Sabbath and bringing that into the modern, where his modern sound is with Laney and with Karsten's. And then we're able to kind of,
So you basically made a Grace. The Grace is, the DNA of the Grace was the supergroup.
Well, I shall put you out of your misery now. Sadly, you're not going to hear this in this video.
Oh.
You're going to hear this when you come
I
down.
come down to do it, yeah, yeah.
So we'll
we
do
did
that
justice
soon.
then.
Brian, great to meet you.
Pleasure.
Congratulations on this as well. Can we move over
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the next one? We're going to another superstar,
Absolutely, yes.
but this time a superstar of the bass world.
Absolutely.
So Nathan,
So-
he's done the same kind of idea, right?
Yeah, so last year we made a signature amp head.
Oh, this is his
Yeah,
the full
his
stack
kind of
that he
rig,
would
yeah.
use. Yeah, okay.
This is the DB East. Some of you might know the Digbeth range of bass
Yeah.
amps. He really loved them. And then we said to him, what do you need, Nathan?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I need 2 inputs because I play upright bass on the Clapton gig and
Yeah.
also electric. So we did that for him with a trim control so you can match the
Yeah.
volumes going in. It's got dual outs as well, so the same XLR, DI out with impulse responses you can change. All the stuff that Nathan just gets and sets and forgets,
Yeah.
he doesn't change any of that. And then what we said, and we always knew we were going to, was to take that head and put it into a preamp that allows him to travel. So some of you might know that there is already a Digbeth preamp, a DB pre, but this is the DB East pre. So this one's handmade in the UK. It's got the dual inputs, so you can have, that's on this side, foot switchable between the two, and one output. And the clever thing about the output here is you can go into the USB, you set whichever input you want can have its own impulse response. So if you change channels, it will change the speaker. Effects loop, loads of bass witchcraft in the EQ section of it. Nathan's favorite thing now is the tilt feature, because that allows him to kind of go, oh, it needs to be a little bit darker
Right.
or a little
So
bit.
that's the one that's the not set and forget switch.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
just get
the
that to-
venue specific kind of thing.
That's it.
Cool.
So Nathan is using this for all kinds of stuff, really. But you could put this in your bag, go to a gig, plug straight in, you're going to get your sound. You can use it as an audio interface because it's USB-C, so you can just record directly. Open up Logic, it will just recognize it as an audio interface. And there we are. That's the DB
Oh,
East
that's
Pre.
cool, man.
So yeah, Nathan will be here.
All right.
He's going to have a nice jam. His son Noah, who's also a Grammy Award-winning keyboard player, really lovely family. They'll come and have a jam. And I think it would be remiss, as he's Clapton's bass player, right? So we you're going to have a jam.
I will butcher a Clapton song with Nathan East.
Yes.
I'll put my credibility in the waste paper bin. Let's do this. Whatever. You only
Amazing.
live once, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
yeah.
Cheers, my man.
Thanks,
Thank you
dude.
very much. See you back on the other side.
Oh yes.
Bye.